Hello everybody, this is the first lecture about the AWS Certified AI Practitioner exam, the IAF-C01. So let's get started. So what is the AWS Certified AI Practitioner certification? It proves fundamental knowledge in AI, machine learning, and generative AI applied on AWS, differentiating you in the market. It aimed at sales, marketing, finance, operations, and IT professionals who use AI and machine learning technologies but do not develop them yet. The certification is valid for 3 years with flexible recertification options, with a new exam or the new machine learning engineer certification. The candidate profile and exam format. The recommended requirements up to 6 months of experience with AI and machine learning and on AWS, the basic knowledge of core services such as EC2, S3, Lambda, SageMaker, familiarity with security with IAM concepts and global AWS infrastructure, understanding of AWS pricing models and costs, and the exam structure is the basic from the foundational one. So total of 50 varied questions, multiple choice and multiple responses, ordering and matching questions, practical case studies, and does not require programming or data engineering. So the domains, we have 5 groups of domains. So we have the first domain, AI and machine learning fundamentals, with the weight of 20%, covering basic concepts of artificial intelligence and machine learning, algorithms, types of machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement, and the machine learning lifecycle. The second one is the generative AI fundamentals, with a weight of 24%, principles and techniques of generative AI, language models, architectures, and their capabilities. The third domain is foundation model applications, so 28%. So how to send and implement foundation models for various applications, customization, inference, and optimization. The fourth is responsible AI guidelines with 14%. So best practice for ethical and responsible AI use, bias mitigation, transparency, explainability, and fairness in AI systems. And the final one, and not less important, with weight of 14%, is security compliance and governance for AI solutions. So the aspects of data security in AI, regulatory compliance, governance of AI models, and risk management. So we will be covering all the topics for you to ace on this exam.
Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about the basics and fundamental concepts for generative AI. So, the artificial intelligence ecosystem. The modern artificial intelligence is built up on interconnected layers of technology. Understanding this hierarchy is fundamental to mastering generative AI concepts. So, on the base we have the artificial intelligence. Above it, we have machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI. Each layer adds complexity and capabilities. AI is the overreaching field. Machine learning enables pattern learning, deep learning utilizes deep neural networks, and generative AI creates original content. So, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the field of computer science dedicated to creating systems capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as pattern recognition, decision making, and problem solving. A practical example would be virtual assistants, recommendation systems, autonomous cars, automated medical diagnosis. Machine learning. Machine learning is a subfield of AI that allows computers to learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. Algorithms identify patterns in data and make predictions or decisions based on these patterns. Supervised learning learns from labeled data. The model receives examples with correct answers and learns to map inputs to outputs. An example would be classifying mails as spam or non-spam. Unsupervised learning discovers patterns in unlabeled data. The algorithms explores the data structure without supervision. Examples would be segmenting customers by purchasing behavior. Semi-supervised learning combines small amounts of labeled data with large volumes of unlabeled data, useful when data labeling is expensive or time-consuming. Neural networks and deep learning. Artificial neural networks Artificial neural networks are computational systems inspired by the human brain, composed of artificial neurons connected in layers. Each connection has a weight that is adjusted during training. Deep learning uses neural networks with multiple hidden, deep layers to learn complex data representations. This depth allows for the capture of hierarchical patterns and sophisticated abstractions, revolutionizing areas such as computer vision and natural language processing. Generative AI and foundation models. Generative AI. Generative AI refers to systems that create original contexts like text, images, audio, code. Instead of merely analyzing or classifying existing data, these models learn patterns from training data and generate new similar examples. Foundation models are large-scale AI models trained on vast amounts of unlabeled data. They serve as a basis that can be adapted for multiple subsequent tasks through fine-tuning, including like GPT, BERT, and DALL-E. Large language models and transformers. Natural language processing (NLP), a field of AI focused on enabling computers to understand, interpret, and generate human language in a meaningful way. Transformer model, a revolutionary architecture that uses attention mechanisms to process data sequences, capturing long-range dependencies. It is the foundation of modern language models. Large language models, massive language models trained on trillions of words. They have billions of parameters, adjustable weights that determine their behavior. GPT, a family of models that combines the transformer architecture with generative pre-training, capable of generating coherent text and performing multiple tasks. Fundamental operational context. Tokens, basic units of processing models. A word can be a single token or divided into multiple tokens. Intelligence can be 2 to 3 tokens depending on the model. Context window, maximum number of tokens a model can process simultaneously. Modern models range from 4K to over 128K context tokens. Embeddings, numerical vector representation of words or concepts that capture their semantic meaning. Similar words have embedding close to each other in vector space. Completion, the response generated by the model based on a prompt. The model sequentially predicts tokens to form the complete response. Temperature, a parameter that controls the randomness of responses. Lower values 0.1 to 0.3 generate more deterministic response. High values 0.8 to 1.0 increase creativity and variety. Text classification, the task of categorizing text into predefined classes such as sentiment, topic, or intent. It's essential for automated content analysis. Advanced usage techniques. Prompt engineering, the art and science of crafting effective instruction for AI models. Well-designed prompts include clear context, example when necessary, and specify the desired response format. Prompt chaining, a technique to break down complex tasks into sequences of single prompts, where the output of one prompt feeds into the next. Improves accuracy and traceability of reasoning. Retrieval augmented generation, an approach that combines information retrieval with generation. The system searches relevant documents in a knowledgeable base and uses them as context to generate more accurate and up-to-date responses. Model customization and fine-tuning. The process of retraining a pre-trained model on a specific dataset to adapt its behavior to a particular domain or task. Fine-tuning adjusts the model's parameters, weights, using specific labeled data. When to use, you have domain-specific data, require specialized terminology, or want consistent behavior that cannot be achieved through prompts alone. Benefits: increased accuracy on specific tasks, better understanding of technical language, and responses more aligned with the desired style. Challenges and responsibilities of AI. Hallucinations. When models confidently generate false or invented information, this occurs because models prioritize coherence over factual accuracy. Always validate critical information. Bias. Systemic prejudices present in training data that are reflected in model outputs. This can perpetuate stereotypes or discrimination. Careful data curation is necessary. Anthropomorphism. The human tendency to attribute human characteristics, consciousness, emotions, intentions to AI models. Models are statistical tools, not conscious beings. Responsible AI, a set of principles and practices for developing and using AI ethically, transparently, and beneficially. This includes fairness, accountability, transparency, privacy, security, and harm minimization. Developers and users share responsibility for ethical use. Emergence in AI, the future of artificial intelligence. Emergence refers to capabilities that unexpectedly arise in large-scale models, not present in smaller versions. Examples include complex reasoning, translation between languages not seen together in training, and multi-step problem solving. These properties emerge when models reach sufficient scale in data, parameters, and computation. They represent one of the most fascinating and least understood phenomena in modern AI, suggesting that scale can unlock qualitative new capabilities. The implication. The future of AI may bring unimaginable capabilities as models continue to grow and evolve.
Okay, everyone, on this lecture we will be talking about prompt engineering for AWS. So, let's get started. Prompts are the inputs provided to generative AI systems that guide the produced output. They function as instructions that direct the model's behavior. We have several types of prompts. We have text-based, the most common type, using natural language, multimodal, images, videos, gestures, and other formats. Hybrid, combination of different input types. So, the art and science behind prompt engineering. The art, creativity needed to craft prompts that produce the desired outcome. A strategic word choice, clear request structuring, appropriate contextualization, and the science. It's a iterative refinement process to achieve the optimal output. Systematic experimentation, results, analysis, adjustments based on feedback. So, prompt engineering is the art of creating prompts that consistently produce the desired outcome. This emerging discipline combines creative thinking with scientific methodology, requiring patience and a willingness to experiment until excellence is achieved. So, why prompt engineering is essential? Prompts are the bridge between user intentions and generative AI responses. Generative AI is revolutionizing how we interact with technology. Instead of navigating complex interfaces, we can now use natural language to command intelligent systems. This shift makes prompt engineering an invaluable skill. So, content generation is the creation of automated text, images, code, and other types of content. Translation and adaptation, accurate conversion of content between different languages and formats. And insight extraction, analysis of complex data to identify patterns and generate actionable recommendations. So, generative AI in practice. We have Adobe Creative Suite. So, Photoshop and Illustrator integrate generative AI to create and modify images using natural language prompts. GitHub Copilot, an AI system that automatically generates code based on natural language descriptions, accelerating development. Salesforce Einstein, it's the AI that generates emails, summarizes sales calls, and provides actionable insights for strategic conversations. Almost all software now and services providers are integrating generative AI into their products. So, mastering prompt engineering allows you to extract maximum value from these powerful tools. So, the path to prompt engineering. Experimentation. Prompt engineering is an emerging field with more experimentation than established practices. Be prepared to test different approaches. Creativity. Crafting effective prompts is neither easy nor well defined. It requires creative thinking and a willingness to explore new possibilities.
Persistence. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. Patience and dedication are essential to developing this valuable skill. Rewards. For those willing to put in the effort, the rewards are significant. The better you are at creating prompts, the more value you will extract from generative AI. So the next steps will be to go deeper into this course and start testing. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about the anatomy of the prompt. So let's get into the details of that. So what is a prompt engineering in generative AI? So how to build that? A prompt is the instruction or question we provide to an AI model to generate a specific response. It acts as a digital compass that guides artificial intelligence towards the desired outcome. On platforms like ChatGPT, Cloud, or Gemini, the prompt is the text that you type to initiate and conduct the conversation. The quality of this input directly determines the quality of the generated output. So we have the input, that is your question or instruction. We have the processing, so AI interprets and analyzes, and we have the output, AI generated response. So why does prompt quality matter? The difference between a good and a bad prompt can be compared to the difference between giving clear and vague instructions to an assistant. Well-crafted prompts save time and generate superior results. So, improved precision. Clear and detailed prompts generate more precise, relevant, and useful responses for your specific needs. Avoid frustration. A poorly formulated prompt can lead to vague, inaccurate, or completely out of context responses. And the iterative process. Interaction with AI is a dialogue with progressive adjust and refine prompts to optimize results. A practical example would be compare summarize the text with summarize the text in 3 objective sentences for high school students. The second prompt generates results much more aligned with expectations. So, the component of an effective prompt. We have the context, background information that helps AI understand the scenario, target audience, and purpose of the task. The task, specific action that you want the AI to perform, explain, summarize, create, analyze, and translate. Style and format, the definition of the tone of the voice, formal, causal, persuasive, and the desired structure, list, table, paragraph, script. And the constraints, limitations such as maximum length, words to avoid, or specific formatting requirements. So, a complete example. Act as a university biology professor and explain the process of photosynthesis in simple language for laypersons using a factory analogy. Limit of 150 words. So, the common prompt types in generative AI. We have text-to-text, generate conversational responses, executive summaries, multilingual translations, programming codes, and creative content. Text to image, describe detailed scenes to create artistic images, commercial illustrations, or unique conceptual designs. Text to audio and video, generate narrations, music, sound effects, or complete videos from creative textual descriptions. A practical application includes creating blog articles, images for digital marketing campaigns, scripts for educational videos, and much more. So, some tips here for creating powerful prompts. Be specific. The clearer and more detailed, the better. Specify exactly what you want to achieve. Use examples, so provide templates or examples of the response format you expect to receive. Define the audience. Indicate who the response is for and what tone of voice should be used. Test and refine. Experiment with different prompt variations. The first version is rarely perfect. Analyze the results and progressively adjust until you get the ideal output. Avoid ambiguities. Eliminate vague terms like good, interesting, or fast. Replace them with concrete and measurable descriptions whenever possible. And the impact of prompt engineering on the market. Around the world, professionals are expected to earn high salaries like more than 300 per year.
we have the productivity increase, so users who master effective prompts can increase their productivity by up to 10 times in creative tasks, and the global users are more than 100 million now. We have applications for digital marketing, education, artistic creation, and programming. So tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, Cloud, and Gemini fundamentally depend on the quality of prompts to deliver real value to the users. So mastering this skill is investing on your professional future.
Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about the fundamentals of prompt engineering. So we needed to understand the terminology. So prompt engineering is a new and constant evolving discipline. There are no rigidly established practices or universal standards. The terminology presented here is based on practical experience, research papers, and various studies from the emerging field of AI. It's important to keep an open mind. Techniques and vocabulary continue to develop as we better understand how language models respond to different approaches. Instructional prompts are clear guidance. What they are: explicit directives that guide the model to perform a specific task, translate text, summarize documents, classify information. Advantage: reduce ambiguity and unnecessary experimentation. Predictable results, fewer interactions needed, ideal for measurable tasks. Limitations: can restrict the model creativity, implicit constraints, more limited responses, and less creative exploration. Example: describe chocolate from child's perspective versus describe chocolate from a chef's perspective. Question prompts: open-ended questions, broad and without specific limits, allowing for expansive and exploratory answers. Example: how has chocolate influenced humanity? Closed-ended questions, specific and direct, anticipating short and definitive answers within a delimited context. Example: is chocolate a good source of antioxidants? Leading questions, phased to suggest a particular answer or guide the model in a specific direction. Example: why does dark chocolate contain higher amounts of antioxidants? Attention, leading questions can create bias in responses. Used with care and intentionality. Comparison and strategic applications. Both strategies have their strengths and can be combined effectively. Use instructions. So, tasks with measurable outcomes, specific information formatting, explicit and clear direction, ambiguity reduction. Use questions for conversational interactions, creative exploration of topics, chatbot and customer support, non-obvious connections. For simple cases, the choice between instructions and questions is stylistic. Experiment with both approaches to find out what works best for you and your specific use cases. Leverage the strengths of each strategy to maximize response quality. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about contextual prompts, so transforming AI interactions. So, understanding contextual prompts. What are they? Contextual prompts set a scene and provide a specific role for the AI model to assume. Unlike basic context, such as text to be translated, these prompts create an engaging narrative. So, example: you are a Michelin-starred chef. Describe your creative process when developing a new dish. Why use them? More engaging and authentic responses, multiple perspectives on a topic, simulation of specialized conversations, exploration of different viewpoints, content adapted to a specific context. So, two fundamental categories: role-playing prompts. Engage the model in a specific role such as professions, personalities, or historical figures. So, for example, you are a history teacher. Explain the Renaissance to high school students. What's your creative process? Answer as if you were Shakespeare. You are a professor with doctorates in theoretical physics, philosophy, and neuroscience. What common themes do you identify? Scenario-based prompts. Establish a specific time, place, or event situation for the model to consider. Example: today is a raining day in London, 1856. Describe the sound and smell of the era. You are planning a corporate event for 500 people. What are your priorities? Pro tip: role-playing and scenario are not mutually exclusive. Combining them creates even more powerful and realistic prompts.
So, applications and important consideration. Education, explanations adapted to different knowledge levels and learning styles. Customer service, simulations of personalized and contextually relevant interactions. Entertainment, creation of convincing characters and engaging narratives. Challenge and cautions. Complexity, creating realistic context requires deep understanding of the topic from both the prompt creator and the model. Oversimplification, it's easy to underestimate the complexity of real situations, leading to unrealistic expectations or solutions. Hidden biases, scenarios can inadvertently include biases that influence results. Contextual process, creation process. Define clear objectives. Establish the rule that compose the desired context, time, place, role, required level of precision or realism. Develop the prompt interactively. Use the context rules to create the initial prompt. Apply the same process used for standard prompts, continuously refining. Test and verify. Continue iterating until you consistently produce the desired response. Validate the quality and relevance of the answers. You are chefing Paris 1856. You are preparing a meal for important guests. Describe how you will plan and execute the dinner. This example combines role-playing chef with scenario Paris 1856 specific event, creating a rich context that generates detailed and authentic responses. Remember, the imagination and capabilities of the model are your only limits.
Okay, everyone. On this lecture, we'll be talking about how to master few shot prompts. So, few shot learning is a powerful technique that allows AI models to learn new tasks using only a few carefully selected examples. Instead of relying solely on verbal instructions, you provide the model with concrete examples of the desired outcome. Language models are exceptional at learning from context. Few short prompts leverage this natural ability, offering the necessary context for the model to understand exactly what you expect as a response. Rich context. Examples provide the context that instructions alone cannot convey. Precision. Results are more aligned with your specific expectations. Patterns. Models identify subtitle patterns in the provided example. Understanding the difference between these approaches is fundamental to creating effective prompts. Each has its specific place and purpose. Zero shot, no examples provided. You trust the model already has enough knowledge to perform the task, ideal for simple, well known tasks. One shot, a single example to guide, helps the model to understand the desired format and style, useful when the task is relatively clear. Few shot, multiple examples, usually 1 to 5 to teach, allows the model to identify complex patterns and produce consistent results. So, the prompt. Analyze the sentiment of these reviews, positive, negative, or neutral. Example, the rooms were clean, the staff was friendly, and the bathtub was amazing, positive. Number 2, requested analysis. The movie was okay, but the plot was predictable. Example 2, the service was painfully slow and the food was bland, negative. Result neutral. The model recognizes the positive aspect of okay, but also identifies the negative criticism, predictable, resulting in balanced neutral sentiment. The example helped the model calibrate its expectations. So, experiment, recipe descriptions. Let's compare the three prompt types by generating descriptions for an apple tart starting recipe with Fuji apples, cinnamon, nutmeg, and puffy pastry. Zero shot, very detailed. Indulge in the rich flavors of our apple tart tasting, featuring caramelized Fuji apples with a hint of cinnamon and nutmeg. Good result, but not exactly what was expected. One shot, better alignment. After adding a rogue's example, indulge in the irresistible flavors of caramelized apples on a puff pastry crust, closer to expectations. Few shot, ideal outcome, with 3 to 4 examples. This classic French dessert features caramelized apples on a puffy pastry, creating a sweet and indulgent delight, consistent with the example's patterns. Challenge for you. Create a prompt that generates funny descriptions for invented products. Chocolate toothpaste, editable headphones, transparent hat, dehydrated water, autonomous tricotta, coffee for sleeping, and scent laptops. Use 3 to 4 examples to guide the model. Okay, everyone. On this lecture, we'll be talking about chain of thought prompts. So, modern language models possess impressive capabilities, but still face significant limitations in complex reasoning tasks. So, let's take a look. So, the problem, limitations in reasoning. Current capabilities. Models like GPT 3.5 Turbo can perform basic reasoning and process natural language with impressive fluency. These models still struggle with arithmetic, common sense reasoning, and subtitle contextual interpretation. So, recent advancements have made it possible to perform some reasoning tasks, but it's crucial to understand where these models still fall short. Understanding these limitations is fundamental to creating effective prompts that compensate for these weaknesses. A practical example, the apple problem. The initial problem, the cafeteria had 23 apples. They used 10 to make a pie. 2 employees shared 1 apple as a snack. They received 9 in delivery. First answer, incorrect. The model subtracted 2 apples instead of 1, failing to recognize that employees shared a single apple. Result, 20 apples, incorrect. Improved prompt. Consider the phrasing in each sentence. Identify words that imply singular or plural. Correct answer. With additional guidance, the model correctly identified that the employees shared 1 apple. Result, 21 apples. Correct. This example demonstrates how subtle linguistic nuances can confuse AI models and how well-crafted prompts can guide them to the correct answer. Strategies for effective chain of thought prompts. Start simple. Use phrases like let's think step by step to induce the composition of the problem into smaller steps. Identify specific problems. Analyze where the model makes mistakes and create targeted guidance for these specific weaknesses. Adapt to the model. Different models have different capabilities. GPT-4 can use Python code, while GPT 3.5 requires more textual guidance. Important, more advanced models integrate functionality such as code execution, allowing for even more complex reasoning tasks. Stay updated to the capabilities and the restrictions, limitations of the model that you are using. Fundamental lesson, never trust AI. AI provides incorrect answers with confidence. Generative models can present errors with the same confidence they present correct answers. There is no visual or tonal indication of uncertainty. Always verify the responses from AI. Never accept AI outputs without verification, especially in critical tasks involving calculations, logic, or important decisions. Use prompts to guide the model. Well-crafted prompts are your best tool to guide the model to the desired result and minimize reasoning errors. As technology evolves, models will become more capable, but the fundamental principle remains. Understand limitations, verify results, and use techniques like chain of thought prompting to maximize the accuracy and reliability of AI-generated responses. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about how to evaluate the accuracy of generative AI responses. So, a real case when blind trusts fail. The case of the lawyer and ChatGPT. In May 2023, Reuters reported an alarming case. A lawyer used ChatGPT to create a legal document that cited 6 completely fabricated legal cases by the model. The professional did not verify the accuracy because he was unaware of the possibility that the content could be false. He blindly trusted the responses, probably because they aligned with his expectations. So, understanding accuracy, context is key. Accuracy is the extent to which responses align with prompts. However, the meaning of accuracy varies depending on the use case. Document summarization, accuracy, correct information. Do not add non-existing information. Do not distort information. Do not omit key points, source of truth, original document. Video game character creation, accuracy, consistency. Maintain coherence with the established world. Respect defined characteristics. Follow rules of the created universe. Source of truth. Establish functional world. Understanding the meaning of accuracy for your specific use case will help you create prompts that guide the model towards the desired outcome. Consider this when defining objectives and verification processes. How prompts impact response accuracy? There are three types of problematic prompts. First one, leading prompts. Guide responses towards specific outcomes leading to creative writing or RPGs. Problematic example. Provide a justification for why the earth is flat. The false premise guides the model to a fabricated response. Ambiguous prompts can be interpreted in multiple ways, leading to inaccurate responses. Vague example. How hot is the sun? Improved. What's the temperature of the sun's core? Specific prompts helps models understand intent. Biased prompts and models contain biases or reflected biases from training data. Problematic example. What are good gifts for women? Assumes generalizations about half the world population, ignoring individuals' interests. Best practice for ensuring accuracy. Verification process. Cross-reference with multiple reliable sources. Investigate discrepancies found. Consider expert review. Utilize fast-checking tools and services. Define clear objectives. Example, ensure response accuracy is measured by verifying statement against multiple sources, no ambiguous statements, and no exclusion of key information. Understanding bias. For critical use cases, implement a prompt review process with multiple people from different backgrounds and perspectives. A recommended reading. Towards a standard for identifying and managing bias in artificial intelligence. Remember, bias doesn't have to be intentional to be harmful. Models are trained on human-generated data and carry the biases of the data, even with post-training removal attempts. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about how to format and the options for text-based generative AI. Formatting responses is a crucial and often overlooked aspect of prompt engineering. So, three categories of data structure. Unstructured data, raw model response with no additional formatting instructions. It is the most efficient option when the text will be consumed directly or converted to another format, such as speech. Loosely structured data, content with additional formatting to improve readability. Markdown is the classic example, allowing for headings, both italics, lists, and more. Highly structured data, formats like JSON, YAML, XML, and CSV used for consumption by other software. They have strict rules and do not tolerate syntactic errors. Challenge of highly structured formats. While modern models can produce structured formats, there are several obstacles to achieving consistency. Understanding these challenges is crucial for implementing effective solutions. Non-determinism. Language models can produce different results for the same prompt, especially in longer prompts, where the attention distribution varies between requests. Token consumption. These formats consume many tokens, requiring minimal prompts and increasing costs. Incomplete responses result in broken structure. Format complexity. Formats like JSON and XML have strict rules and allow complex nested structures. Models may struggle with more elaborate responses. Variation across models. Different models produce different results. Some are specifically fine-tuned for formats like JSON with dedicated features to ensure validity. Best practice for effective formatting. Separate formatting. Break down formatting into its own prompt and request. First obtain the information in a less structured way, then format it as a separate step. Configure parameters. Use low temperature like 0 for more consistent and predictable responses, avoiding unnecessary creativity in the formatting process. Simplify structures. Flatten your data structure as much as possible. Include post-processing in the application to restructure as needed. Minimize prompts. Keep prompts minimal to allow for longer responses and reduce costs. Remember that JSON and XML consume many tokens. Use specialized resources. Leverage features like OpenAI JSON mode to significantly improve response consistency. Implement retries. Use retry mechanisms for failed requests. If it works 99% of the time, a retry can resolve intermittent failures. Important tip: different models can be used for formatting and content generation. Use models specifically fine-tuned for JSON in formatting and specialized model for your specific use case. When to use custom formats. Custom formats can significantly simplify the generation of structured data for specific use cases. For example, classifying documents as positive, neutral, or negative can use single characters instead of complex JSON. Follow the path of least resistance. If the use case allows for simple structures and potential for post-processing, custom formats might be the best option. Assess time and effort. Consider the time needed to build, test, and maintain custom formats versus using standard formats. Analyze costs. Compare the investment in custom formats with the cost of generating responses using standard formats. If the investment is lower, custom formats are worthwhile. Consider simplicity. Custom formats can make parsing a trivial task, reducing complexity and potential points of failure in the system. Remember, language models prefer to consume and produce unstructured and lightly structured data. Most training data is unstructured, so simpler formats generally work better. Okay, everyone, this lecture will be talking about controlling responses qualities through prompts. Language models are capable of producing responses that capture a wide range of styles, tones, and emotions. However, they tend to default to a standard writing style. Through carefully crafted prompts, we can control specific qualities of responses, from grammar and syntax to more complex elements like style, tone, and emotion. Grammar and syntax, the foundation of communication. Models' natural capability. Current language models do not require additional prompts to produce grammatically correct responses. The large volume of data they were trained on contains diverse examples, good and bad, which enables them to recognize and produce correct responses. Practical applications. Correction of grammar and syntax for human written content. Review and editing of text. Assistance for non-native speakers for improve in writing. For critical case uses such as legal documents, medical reports, or financial statements, a review process is recommended that includes a human with in-depth knowledge of grammar and syntax, and or automated tools like Grammarly or Hemingway app. Style and tone, contextual appropriateness. Formal and professional, suitable for legal documents, corporate reports, and official communications. The tone is reserved and structured. Provide a generic and formal introductory message to post on Slack in my new job. Casual and relaxed, ideal for blogs, social media, and informal communications. Uses expressions like super excited and more accessible language. Provide a generic and casual introductory message to post on Slack in a new job. Style and tone depend on the use case. Most general purpose models are capable of producing responses in a variety of styles with limited prompts. You can shape or reshape the tone and style of a response just with a few terms: formal, professional, casual, enthusiastic, sober, friendly, warm. Tone and style analysis. You can use a similar approach to analyze the tone and style of existing content by asking the model, describe the tone of this response, or describe the style of this response. This is valuable when you need to ensure that the tone and style of responses align with the context. Emotions and sentiment, the complexity of nuance. Emotion and sentiment convey the feelings or attitude of the response. They are important for use cases where you need to evoke specific emotions: nostalgia, excitement, optimism, or concern. Creative writing, marketing, and customer support are common use cases that require emotion and sentiment. Word choice. Words like love, hate, euphoric, or melancholic immediately convey specific emotions. The emotional weight of words is crucial. Punctuation. Exclamation points amplify emotion, while ellipses indicate hesitation or uncertainty. Every element counts. Broader context. A single word can change sentiment based on context. Stop can be positive, neutral, or negative depending on the situation. Cultural and individual considerations. Emotion and sentiment will be perceived differently across cultures and individual experience. We all have different life experiences that shape our perceptions. When possible and appropriate, check with a diverse group of people. Adapt emotion and sentiment to the target audience. A Halloween story for children should not be considered spooky, but not terrifying. Analysis and best practice. Understand the model capabilities. Different models have varying levels of capability when it comes to emotion and sentiment. Understanding these capabilities is crucial when crafting prompts. Prepare content appropriately. Remove unnecessary content that might distort results, especially in long pieces that may contain multiple unrelated emotions. Avoid prompt bias. Do not include results with biased prompts. Compare. Analyze the following mostly positive reviews versus analyze the following reviews and identify key sentiments. Include human verification. Ensure humans are involved in the verification process to guarantee that desired qualities are being met. Conclusion. Controlling response qualities such as grammar, syntax, style, tone, and emotion can be challenging, but it's possible with the right combination of prompts and models. Take time to understand the model's capabilities and the nuances of the qualities you are trying to control.
Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be start talking about the Amazon Bedrock, so generative AI models in the cloud. So this is the introduction to Amazon Bedrock, AWS managed services that democratizes access to state-of-the-art foundation models of AI. So what are foundational models? Foundational models, FMs, are artificial intelligence systems trained on massive unlabeled datasets. Unlike traditional machine learning models, which are specialized for specific tasks, FMs are considerably larger and more versatile. They serve as the basis for generative AI, enabling them to interpret natural language, hold complex conversations, and even create realistic images from textual descriptions. Key capabilities: natural language processing and understanding in multiple languages, generation or coherent and contextually relevant texts, creation of detailed images based on prompts, analysis and extraction of information from large volumes of data, accurate responses based on probabilities and learned patterns. Amazon Bedrock AI Power via API. Amazon Bedrock is a managed AWS service that offers simplified access to various foundation models through API calls. This means you can integrate advanced generative AI capabilities into your applications without needing to build and train models from scratch. It has easy integration. Simply and well-documented APIs allows you for quick implementation in any application. Automatic scalability. AWS managed infrastructure that scales according to your needs. Variety of models. Access to FMs from AWS itself and leading market partners. Cost benefit eliminates massive investment in infrastructure and proprietary model training. With Bedrock, you can develop generative AI applications at scale with relative ease, focusing on innovation instead of managing infrastructure complexities. Available providers and models. We have on this screen lots of models that are from different vendors and has different capabilities and features. What you need to have in mind is that, of course, I will be teaching different models and showing them on the AWS screen. But what you need to understand is that the list of available providers and models in Bedrock is constantly evolving. For updated information, always consult the official AWS documentation. So, Bedrock evaluation tools, interactive playground, so you can test different models in real time, You have to compare the evaluation, so compare performance, latency, and output quality between models, and performance metrics, objective analysis of accuracy, relevance, and suitability for your context. Okay, everyone, just a quick introduction for your first contact with Amazon Bedrock. So I am on my AWS console using Northern Virginia. So this is the region that I recommend you to use all the time. And here we have different providers, different modalities, and all the models here for you to use. So be careful and pay attention to which model do you use. Okay, on this lecture we'll be talking about on how to start testing. So on the menu here you have chat slash text big playground and image video playground. So I start with chat, click on select model. You can select anyone here. I'll go with DeepSeek, apply, and hello. Oh, distance range of tasks including question. Uh, 70 people here. Growth rate. We have, as of July 2024, the global population is estimated to be approximately 8.1 billion people. So this is pretty much what I would like to do. So start testing, start playing around with different models, but pay attention to the pricing, okay? Okay, everyone. On this lecture, we'll be talking about the knowledge basing. So empowering generative AI with RAG. So discover how Amazon Bedrock knowledge bases revolutionize generative AI applications by integrating external data sources through retrieval augmented generation. So let's get started. So what is RAG and why you need it? A foundation model is limited by the data it was trained on without access to update on domain-specific information. Responses can be outdated, inaccurate, or too generic for your business needs. So the RAG solution. Retrieval augmented generation is a framework that allows you to supplement the model with external factual data. This ensures that your responses are based on the most recent, reliable, and accurate information available. User query. What's the latest information on Amazon stock? External search. RAG retrieves updated data from reliable external sources, and then the model generates contextualized response with current information. Then, how knowledge bases work. So, the first critical stage is transforming your external data into a format that the system can process efficiently. This pre-processing ensures your information is optimized for fast and accurate semantic retrieval. Chunking. Your data source is divided into smaller manageable segments, facilitating subsequent processing and retrieval. Each chunk goes through an embedding model that transforms it into a numerical vector representation. Embeddings are stored in a vector index, maintaining links to original documents. And then they capture that segment meaning of each chunk, allowing comparison based on contextual and similarity, not just literal keywords. So, real-time execution from query to answer. The user question is transformed into a mathematical vector using the same embedding model. The query vector is compared with the vector index to identify chunks with similar meaning. The most relevant document segments are retrieved based on semantic similarity. The original prompt is enriched with additional context from the retrieval documents. The foundation model generates a personalized response using the enriched prompt. Vector comparison is fundamental. It evaluates the similarity between document vectors and the user's query vector, identifying matches based on underlying meaning and context, not just literal word matches. So the flexibility in response. Once configured, your application can generate two types of responses using Amazon Bedrock knowledge bases. Direct citations, so text cited directly from the knowledge base, maintaining accurate and source traceability. Natural language processing, augmented response using NLP that combines source data with the model generative capabilities. This flexibility allows you to choose the most suitable approach for each specific use case, balancing factual accuracy with conversational naturalness. Key benefits: responses always updated with your latest data, greater accuracy and reliability of information, ability to work with private and specific data, traceability of information sources. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about Amazon Bedrock agents. So let's get started. Agents function as orchestration tools that facilitate seamless integration between various components of your AI-driven applications. They connect foundation models with data sources and knowledge bases, simultaneously managing user engagement and API requests. As a fully managed service by Amazon Bedrock, you don't have to worry about infrastructure management, encryption, permissions, or prompt engineering for agent actions. Transformative benefits: reduced cost and time. Teams can prioritize business objectives instead of tedious coding tasks. Enhanced experience: advanced automation and high responsiveness for users. Operational efficiency: infrastructure automatically managed by AWS. Natural interactions: natural language conversations to collect information and execute tasks. Comprehensive capabilities of Bedrock agents. Amazon Bedrock agents offer a full spectrum of functionalities to empower your generative AI applications. Understanding these capabilities is essential to leverage that platform's full potential. Natural conversation: utilize natural language to dialogue with users intuitively and contextually, gathering additional information. Action execution: complete complex actions to fulfill user requests, such as making reservations or processing transactions. Task decomposition: divide complex tasks into smaller, manageable components for efficient processing. API invocations: make API calls to external systems, retrieving necessary data to enrich responses and complete workflows. Integration with knowledge bases: connect the knowledge bases to enhance response accuracy with private and contextualized data. Source attribution: automatically manage the attribution of information sources, ensuring transparency and traceability. Build time execution: building your agent. The build time phase is where you build, configure, and deploy your agent along with all associated resources. This step lays out the foundation for your agent's orchestration capabilities. First, the foundation model. Associate your agent with a foundation model of your choice to interact with your user input, generate prompts and responses, and manage workflow orchestration. Specific instructions: provide clear instruction to the agent so it understands exactly which actions and tasks it should handle and how to respond appropriately. Action groups: configure action groups using Lambda functions and open API schemas for specific tasks, enabling advanced orchestration of automated multi-step processes. Knowledge bases: integrate existing knowledge base so the agent can perform queries and augment responses with private data external to the foundation model. Prompt templates: manage prompt templates that act as blueprints for creating prompts. Modify Amazon for standards templates for pre-processing, orchestration, response generation, and post-processing. Advanced prompts: you can customize prompts by modifying parameters, adding detailed instructions, action descriptions, and changing conversation history settings for personalized behavior. Runtime execution: the agent in action. Real-time execution is initiated by the Invoke Agent API and follows a precise sequence of 3 distinct phases that ensure accurate and contextualized responses. Phase 1: pre-processing. The agent receives the user input, validates if it's a legitimate request, and categorizes it appropriately to prepare for the next orchestration step. This initial validation ensures that only valid requests proceed through the flow. Phase 2: orchestration. During this critical phase, the agent communicates with the foundation model to interpret the request. It invokes relevant action groups, consults knowledge bases to enrich information, and generates an observation as output.
This observation creates a base prompt that returns to the foundation model for interpretation. The agent checks if additional information is needed and repeats the orchestration process until it has sufficient data to respond to the user or requests more details. Phase 3, post-processing. This optional phase, disabled by default, allows the agent to generate a refined final response to the user, applying any additional formatting or processing needed before delivering the complete answer. Amazon Bedrock agents transform the complexity of AI orchestration into a manageable and efficient process, allowing developers to focus on creating real business value. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about the security and privacy in Amazon Bedrock. So let's get started. So what is Amazon Bedrock? Just a review. Amazon Bedrock is a fully managed service that allows you to use various popular foundational models through a centralized interface, without the need to manage underlying infrastructure. With Bedrock, you can easily build generative AI applications that access different foundational models through APIs, AWS CLI, and SageMaker notebooks. Applications range from simple chatbots to complex code and image generators, or systems that can intelligently synthesize and summarize large volumes of data. Challenges in building AI applications: privacy and security. Ensuring organizational data remains private and protected from unauthorized access. Legal compliance. Meeting legal requirements for auditability and corporate governance. Secure interactions. Ensuring all AI interactions remain secure, relevant, and free from inappropriate content. Developers face these critical challenges when building generative AI applications, and Amazon's Bedrock offers specific features to address each of them. Security and encryption. Protection of data in transit and at rest with advanced encryption. Privacy and data protection guarantees that corporate data is not shared or used to train models. Identity and access management. Granular controls over who can access Bedrock resources. Audit compliance and governance. Tracking and monitoring of all systems activities. Robust encryption at all levels. When we talk about customer data in Amazon Bedrock, this includes everything from prompts entered by users to responses generated by foundational models or fine-tuned custom models. Bedrock ensures that this data is always encrypted. Encryption in transit. Uses TLS 1.2 and 1.2 to protect data during transmission between systems. Encryption at rest. Employs custom managed encryption keys through AWS Key Management Service. Granular access control. Allows refining and controlling data access through KMS key policies and grants. Corporate data privacy and protection. One of the main concerns for custom adopting generative AI systems is ensuring that sensitive corporate data is not shared with model providers. AWS commits to never using your data to train Amazon Titan or any other foundation model on Bedrock. Data is never stored in service log. No sharing with models providers. Full control over data usage and distribution. Private custom models. When fine-tuning a foundation model with your own data, Bedrock creates a unique copy of the selected base model. This copy is privately trained only with your data, allowing full control over sharing and usage through restrictions on KMS keys. AWS Private Link. For even greater protection, use a private link interface endpoint to ensure that traffic between your VPC and Bedrock never traverses the public internet. Configure custom endpoint policies for additional restrictions. Identity management, auditing, and compliance. Use identity-based policies to manage access to Bedrock via console, CLI, or API. Restrict access at the individual model level based on the principle of least privilege. Implement attribute-based access using tags. Use AWS CloudTrail to track API calls and user activities. Leverage Amazon CloudWatch to define metrics and monitor custom dashboards. Configure model invocation logging to store input-output data and metadata. AWS stores Bedrock data only in the region where you use it. The service complies with ISO, SOC, CSA Star Level 2, and HIPAA is eligible, and can be used in compliance with GDPR in the European EU. Guardrails for responsible AI. Guardrails allows you to apply controls and take actions based on both user inputs and model outputs, ensuring a safe and responsible AI experience that aligns with your organization's corporate voice, policies, and procedures. With Bedrock security and privacy features, you can build generative AI applications with confidence, knowing your data is protected and compliant with the strictest security standards.
Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about the overview of Amazon SageMaker. Amazon SageMaker is a fully managed service that empowers data scientists, machine learning engineers, and developers to build, train, and deploy machine learning models efficiently and at scale. SageMaker offers a variety of environments designed for different types of users and use cases, providing flexibility and power for your specific machine learning needs. SageMaker Studio, integrated machine learning development environment with a modern and collaborative interface. Notebook instances, pre-configured instances with popular libraries like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and Scikit-learn. Code editor and IDEs, flexible IDE options for programming in Python and R with a user-friendly interface. All these environments include pre-installed tools and support common machine learning tasks such as writing code, exploring data, and creating visualizations. You can leverage SageMaker's features directly within this environment to execute the entire machine learning lifecycle. To better understand SageMaker as a platform, let's explore a simplified machine learning workflow that serves as the foundation for all successful machine learning projects. Prepare the data. Collect, clean, and transform data, the most critical and time-consuming step, taking 60 to 80% of total project time. Build the model. Choose appropriate framework and pre-train models based on your project-specific requirements. Train and tune. Execute training, perform hyperparameter tuning, and evaluate model behavior. Deploy and monitor. Put the model into production and continuously monitor its performance and data drift. The importance of data preparation. Data preparation is often the most underestimated step. Yes, it is absolutely essential for machine learning success. While it may seem simple at first glance, mastering data preparation efficiently, reliable, and consistent is considered one of the biggest challenges in machine learning. This step includes data collection, cleaning, transformation, and validation. Doing a good job here ensures that everything else in your machine learning workflow will run much more smoothly. You cannot build a good house on an unstable foundation. The quality of your data preparation will determine the success of your entire machine learning project. After preparing your data and building your model, the training, tuning, and deployment steps are crucial to ensure your model works effectively in the real world. Training and evaluation. Set up different training runs and evaluation conditions to understand how your model behaves. SageMaker makes it easier to run multiple experiments simultaneously. Deployment to production. After training and tuning your model multiple times, deploy it to a scalable and reliable production environment using SageMaker deployment features. Hyperparameter tuning. Find the optional values for configuration variables that are set before training. This optimization can significantly improve model performance. Continuous monitoring. Continue monitoring model performance after deployment, detect data drift, paradigm shifts, and ensure the underlying hardware scales appropriately as needed. Remember, model lifecycle management is an ongoing process. Data can change over time, and you need to be aware of how your model performance may evolve and adapt as necessary.
Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about the data preparation for Amazon SageMaker. So, data cleaning and structuring. Before building any model, your data needs to be clean and well structured. This fundamental process lays the groundwork for accurate results. Basic cleaning. Remove duplicate records and correct structure issues in the dataset. Identify format inconsistencies and standardize the data types. Second, handling missing values. Develop a strategy to deal with new values. If the dataset is large and few records have missing values, consider removing them. Alternatively, remove problematic columns that are not relevant to your predictions. Necessary transformations. Encode non-numeric fields as categories, normalize numeric data to values between 0 and 1, and apply logarithmic transformations to reduce impact of skewed data or significant outliers. Data volume adjustment. Depending on the volume of records, you may need to sample to reduce the total or generate additional synthetic data. Reasons for reduction: balance efficiency and operational costs, reduce oversampling and biasing training, create separate test dataset for validation, improve processing times. Data preparation consumes most of the time in machine learning projects, but is essential for quality results. Amazon SageMaker Data Wrangler. Data Wrangler offers a visual interface to prepare tabular or image data within SageMaker Canvas, with little to no coding required. Flexible import. Import datasets from over 40 different sources: S3, Redshift, AWS Glue Data Catalog, or local file system. Reusable data flows. Create data flows that define a series of preparation steps. Save and reuse these flows to create automated repeatable workflows. Powerful transformations. For image, adjust brightness, contrast, resize, or rotate. For tabular data, handle outliers, encode categorical data, and clean with format strings. Interactive exploration. Explore data interactively and identify issues such as missing values, outliers, or biases. Use Spark SQL, PySpark, or Pandas for custom transformations. SageMaker Ground Truth. Labeling at scale. Workforce options: mechanical Turk workers for non-sensitive data, third-party vendors, certified specialists, in-house team, your own employees. Supported task types: image, tasks, and video endpoint cloud. Full image classification: single label or multiple labels for the entire image. Bounded classification: rectangular bounding, boxes, or pixel level semantic segmentation. Text: full text classifications, single label or multiple for entire text. Entity recognition: apply specific labels to text segments. Video endpoint cloud: classify entire clips or track objects across frames. Point cloud: detection, tracking, or segmentation in LiDAR frames. Ground Truth offers a semi-automated solution for large-scale labeling tasks, combining automated and human validation. Additional SageMaker features. Beyond data wrangling and Ground Truth, SageMaker offers specialized tools to optimize your data preparation pipeline. SageMaker Processing: run distributed processing jobs that clean, transform, and create features from your data using scalable infrastructure with containers. SageMaker Feature Store: a fully managed repository to store and retrieve your machine learning features, facilitating reuse and consistency. SageMaker Clarify: provides predefined metrics to detect potential biases in your model during different stages of your development lifecycle. So, building models with SageMaker Notebook instances. SageMaker Notebook instances are fully managed Jupyter notebooks that allows you to run code to explore and pre-process your data, engineer features, and develop your machine learning model using popular frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and Scikit-learn. They come pre-configured with all these necessary libraries and the tools to get started. And because they are fully managed, you never have to worry about managing the underlying infrastructure. Setting up your notebook instance. Give your instance a name and choose from several different types. Remember, larger instances are more expensive but process data faster, saving you waiting time. Choose between notebook instances that support Jupyter Lab version 1 or version 3, the default. Both offer powerful instances for development. Specify an IAM role with the necessary permissions for SageMaker and S3. Optionally, choose a KMS key to encrypt your notebook. Select a VPC for your notebook instance and, if necessary, associate it with a Git repository for code version control. After creating your instance, it will remain in a pending state for a few minutes during provisioning. Once in service, you can open Jupyter or Jupyter Lab. When you open Jupyter, you have access to the standard Jupyter Notebook environment, which will initially appear empty. However, clicking on the SageMaker Examples tab will reveal a large selection of examples notebooks. Examples using native SageMaker algorithms such as XGBoost, Linear Learner, and K-nearest neighbors. Templates for pre-processing data at scale using managed containers, examples of MLOps monitoring and model lifecycle management, practical examples using Python library for workflow and automation. These examples are so comprehensive that you never have to start from scratch with a blank development interface. You will always have templates to begin building your model. So the practical example is data download, pre-processing, training, and deployed and inference. So after building your model, it's time to train and fine-tune it. For smaller datasets, you can train directly on the notebook instance. But as your data grows or you need a more repeatable process with multiple permutations, SageMaker's training platform becomes essential, offering algorithms, training jobs, and hyperparameter tuning. So, SageMaker provides over 15 ready-to-use algorithms that support machine learning tasks involving supervised and unsupervised learning, as well as natural language processing, linear learning for regression and classification, random cut forest for anomaly detection, text and image classification, custom algorithms with Docker ACR, AWS Marketplace with third-party solutions. You can even leverage your own custom algorithms, deploying them as independent resources or as Docker instance images on Amazon ECR. So, training job configuration. The first thing is to name the job and specify or create an IAM role with the necessary permissions. Choose between SageMaker built-in or custom algorithms. File mode for small medium datasets or pipe mode for large volumes. Configure instance type, quantity, and additional storage. Configure input sources from S3, EFS, or FSX with separate channels for training, and the output for S3. So, file mode versus pipe mode. File mode is ideal for small to medium datasets. It works downloading the entire dataset before training begins. The advantage is simple and straightforward, no additional complexity, and the limitations can be unfeasible for very large datasets due to storage restrictions. The pipe mode is ideal for large datasets with resource limitations. It works with streams data directly from S3 using Unix first in first out pipe. Advantage: training starts immediately, reducing the latency and storage needs. The major considerations is that it requires adjustments in the training scripts to handle the streaming. So, hyperparameters appear as a key value pairs specific to each algorithm. For example, in random cut forest, you configure the number of samples per tree and the number of trees. The hyperparameter turning job to automate experimentation by allowing you to specify value ranges to evaluate tuning strategies and metrics to optimize, such as accuracy. Save up to 90% by using managed spot instances instead of on-demand instances. SageMaker automatically manages interruptions with checkpoints. Debug and optimize your training with SageMaker Debug, so you can identify common problems like overlifting through automated analysis. And scale jobs for parallel execution across multiple instances, reducing training time and providing fault tolerance. So, model deployment and inference in SageMaker. So, we have 4 inference options in SageMaker. The first one is the real-time inference. It uses provisioned endpoints to respond instantly to requests. It's ideal for applications that require millisecond latencies and continuous availability. Serverless inference. Serverless endpoints that scales automatically with demand. You only pay for the resources used without the need to provision infrastructure. Asynchronous inference allows queuing requests that require larger payloads or longer processing times. A separate notification system is provided when inference is complete. Batch transform process large datasets without the need for a persistent endpoint, perfect for periodic analysis and processing historical data. Serverless versus provisioned. Serverless endpoints eliminate the complexity of infrastructure management, automatically scaling to meet variable demands. It's between 1 and 6 gigabytes of RAM, compute resources proportional to allocated memory, support for SageMaker built-in or custom containers, payloads up to 4 megabytes, processing times up to 60 seconds, and it's suitable for workloads without sub-second latency requirements. Provisioned endpoints requires a specification of instance type and number, always on infrastructure for instant responses. It's ideal for millisecond latencies, payloads up to 6 megabytes, processing up to 60 seconds, fixed cost even when idle, and requires monitoring for a scale adjustment. So, advanced inference configurations. Asynchronous inference enables async invocation config and endpoint configuration, define maximum concurrent invocations per instance, and S3 path for successful and failed outputs. Configure SNS topics for automatic completion notifications. Save request and response the data capture information to S3 for later analysis. Configure random sampling between 10 and 100% of data. Consider data sensitivity before enabling this feature. Batch transform jobs. Specify instance type and quantity. S3 input data location and output path. Support gigabyte payloads and multi-day execution. Inference recommender. Get recommendations on optimal deployment configuration, including instance type, scaling options, and the most suitable endpoint type for your specific model. So, don't forget, continuous monitoring. Data can drift and the underlying paradigms your model governs can change over time. Stay alerted to the performance changes. Mirror production traffic if possible to shadow model variants, allowing you to assess performance impacts before implementing changes to the production infrastructure. Manage the entire life cycle, from retraining to updating. Use SageMaker MLOps tools to build and manage complete machine learning pipelines. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about MLOps and Amazon SageMaker. So let's get started. So MLOps, or Machine Learning Operations, is an innovative methodology that applies DevOps practice to machine learning workflows. This revolutionary approach automates the complete lifecycle of machine learning algorithms from initial model training to deployment and retraining with new data. Just like DevOps, machine learning MLOps, machine learning operations, fundamentally relies on three pillars: effective team collaboration, optimized process, and strategic use of technology. This powerful combination improves all necessary steps for managing machine learning projects with efficiency and scalability. Initial training, development and training of the model with historical data. Deploying the model to production environment. Monitoring, continuous monitoring of performance. Retraining, updating the model with new data. Amazon SageMaker for MLOps. As machine learning becomes increasingly prevalent in organizations, Amazon SageMaker emerges as the preferred choice for MLOps implementation. This platform offers specialized tools that streamline the entire machine learning lifecycle, enabling teams to build, train, deploy, and manage models that scale efficiently. Accelerated development, integrated tools that accelerate machine learning model development. Scalability, ability to scale models as demand increases. Complete automation, automation of all stages of the MLOps machine lifecycle. Integration with DevOps tools. Amazon SageMaker integration with AWS DevOps tools, including code commit, code build, code deploy, and code pipelines, enables the robust implementation of continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines for machine learning applications. AWS Code Commit, a fully managed source code repository for version control. AWS Code Build serves that runs tests and produces software packages. AWS Code Deploy automates code deployments to various environments. AWS Code Pipeline is a visual orchestration of the entire continuous delivery workflow. By choosing Code Pipeline for continuous delivery, teams can quickly adapt to needs and effectively release new features and updates.
This accelerated delivery pace is particularly advantageous when there is a need to frequently update machine learning models. Code pipelines visualization capabilities greatly facilitate process monitoring and tracking. Monitoring and automation with SageMaker. After deploying a model, it is crucial to continuously monitor its performance. However, manually checking the health of models consumes precious time that could be dedicated to developing new models. Amazon SageMaker Model Monitor addresses this challenge by automatically tracking the quality of models in production. Data preparation, cleaning and transforming input data, feature engineering, creation and selection of relevant features, training, model training and fine-tuning, validation, testing and validation model performance. By automating machine learning training workflows, you establish a consistent process that simplifies model development steps, enabling rapid experimentation and efficient retraining. SageMaker Pipelines offers flexibility execution options. They can be built configured to run on a defined schedule, triggered by specific events such as the arrival of new data, or is started manually at any time, providing complete control over the development process. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about SageMaker model building pipelines. So, Amazon SageMaker model building pipelines is a workflow orchestration service built specifically to automate every phase of the machine learning process. This comprehensive service covers everything from data pre-processing to monitoring models in production. SageMaker's managed workflow service can integrate CI/CD practices directly into your machine learning workflows. These workflows optimize Amazon SageMaker training and deployment capabilities, significantly reducing the need for extensive workflow tools and saving valuable time in service management. 2 ways to build your pipeline. SageMaker Python SDK. A high-level Python interface you may already be familiar with. This integration enables programmatic pipeline creation, facilitating a familiar and intuitive development experience. So you just need to configure and combine different stages, complete automated system from data preparation to deployment. Pipeline definition is JSON schema, a JSON document that adheres to a specific SageMaker pipeline scheme. This scheme defines how to structure this JSON to describe a machine learning workflow. Manually build JSON following specifications, define name, parameters, and steps, adaptable and powerful format. With the abundance of pre-built templates provided, SageMaker Pipelines makes creating and managing new workflows so simple that even those with limited CI/CD knowledge can successfully implement it. Understanding the DAG, Directed Acyclic Graph. So, what is a DAG? A graph isn't a simple from is visual way to represent nodes of data points that have a relationship with each other. When this relationship is present between two nodes, it creates an edge. A DAG differs because it has a directional nature. The representation of data points in a DAG can only flow in one direction, much like a family tree. DAGs are acyclic because there is no other relationship between the edges, and the workflow is built without loops, meaning that data can only flow in one direction. So, types of steps and dependencies. Processing step, used for data pre-processing tasks such as data cleaning and transformations. Training step, creates a training job that generates a model using SageMaker training jobs. Auto ML step, to perform automated machine learning using SageMaker Autopilot. Create model step, creates a model by specifying the artifacts and details about the required instance type. Register model step, register models in the SageMaker registry for version control and governance. Transform step, use it for batch transformation to perform inference on an entire dataset. Data dependencies. SageMaker seamlessly connects steps when the output of one step is used as the input of another, creating a natural data flow. Custom dependencies. You ensure that a step only executes after one other step have successfully completed using the depends on attribute. Failure management and monitoring. Retry policies. To mitigate the impact of failed steps due to resource constraints or service errors, implementing a retry policy can be effective. This policy allows automatic retry of steps in case of errors and can be applied to individual steps or to the entire pipeline. Amazon Event Bridge offers another way to schedule your pipeline executions. As a support target within Event Bridge, it allows automatic triggering of pipeline executions based on specific events such as new file uploads to S3, updates in repositories, or CloudWatch alerts. SageMaker Studio. You can view, start, and stop pipeline execution with Amazon SageMaker Studio. View the DAG, see executions, retrieve information about your pipeline, and select individual steps to see details like status, runtime metrics, and output locations. Once the pipeline runs and you reach the end of your machine learning workflow, the pipelines generate final outputs. These outputs can be files, models, and more. By tracking artifacts at each stage, you can see how the final results were achieved, ensuring full traceability and governance.
Okay, everyone, on this lecture, we'll be talking about Kubernetes orchestration with SageMaker. So when we implement machine learning workflows on AWS with Kubeflow, these tools are fundamental as they allow us to efficiently manage SageMaker training and inference tasks, integrating SageMaker into Kubernetes-based workflows. This integration makes it possible to orchestrate workflows using Kubernetes while leveraging the serverless capabilities of SageMaker for machine learning tasks. So, containerizing machine learning models significantly accelerates deployment with organizations. However, this process often involves complex management tasks that can become obstacles for DevOps teams. Kubernetes offers exceptional control and portability, but using it for machine learning workflows presents unique challenges. Managing the underlying infrastructure for optimization of utilization costs and performance, while simultaneously ensuring high availability and reliability. Resource management. Administer SageMaker resources such as training jobs, hyperparameter tuning, and model deployment directly from the Kubernetes environment. Workflow simplification. Eliminate the complexity of integrating Amazon SageMaker and Kubernetes work, allowing for connection. Native control. Execute SageMaker jobs directly using Kubernetes, like install in your Kubeflow Pipelines is a robust platform for building and deploying portable and scalable machine learning workflows based on Docker containers. This platform empowers scientists and machine learning engineers to perform various critical tasks. End-to-end workflow creation. Develop a complete workflow natively in Python from data ingestion to model deployment. Custom components. Create customized machine learning components tailored to the specific needs of your project. Pipeline management. Manage pipeline definitions, runs, and experiment in a centralized and organized manner. Component architecture. A Kubeflow pipeline component is a set of code that executes a specific step in the pipeline. They are packed as Python modules within Docker images. During pipeline execution, containers for these components are instantiated on a worker node within the Kubernetes cluster running Kubeflow. Data flow. Pipeline components read and generate output. This architecture makes it easy to create pipelines for and production environment without needing to SageMaker components for Kubeflow, integrating the best of both worlds. SageMaker components for Kubeflow pipelines provide a user interface for managing machine learning workflows and an SDK for defining pipelines and components. These components allow data processing and training jobs from your Kubernetes cluster to SageMaker, leveraging AWS serverless capabilities. Kubeflow portability. Maintain the flexibility and orchestration of Kubeflow pipelines. SageMaker power. Run jobs on SageMaker, not on Kubernetes cluster. Full integration. Create and monitor SageMaker tasks directly from Kubeflow. Two versions available. AWS SDK Bottle 3 uses a AWS SDK for Python Bottle 3 as a backend to create and manage resources in SageMaker. Offers basic integration functionality with AWS resources. Version 2 SageMaker Operators uses SageMaker Operators for Kubernetes and as a backend service. Provides uniform management of SageMaker resources like pipelines, Kubernetes CLI, and notebooks, as well as flexibility to manage resources independently of the flow. SageMaker offers a comprehensive set of specialized components for Kubeflow pipelines, allowing you to easily build complete machine learning workflows. Each component is designed for a specific function in the machine learning lifecycle. Ground truth allows submissions of SageMaker ground truth for labeling jobs, facilitating the creation of high-quality labeled datasets. Work team enables the creation of private work team jobs via Kubeflow pipelines for collaborative labeling. Data processing submit data processing jobs to SageMaker directly from a Kubeflow pipelines workflow. Training simplify SageMaker training job submissions, optimizing the model development process. Hyperparameter optimization manage training job submissions with hyperparameter optimization within Kubeflow pipelines. Key benefit shift your computational workload, including data processing and training from Kubernetes clusters to SageMaker, leverage scalable, managed AWS serverless resources while maintaining flexible Kubeflow orchestration. Okay, everyone, this lecture will be talking about monitoring in machine learning solutions. So, effective monitoring of machine learning solutions is fundamental to maintain reliability and performance over time. Without adequate monitoring, models can lead to negative business outcomes, compromising value delivery and user trust. Why monitoring is critical? The risk of not monitoring. Consider a hospital using a machine learning system for early disease diagnosis. If the model begins to incorrectly classify certain medical conditions, it could lead to inappropriate treatments, endangering patients' health and lives. The consequences extend beyond clinical impact. There are significant legal risks for the institution. Close monitoring allows active management of models, ensuring they continue to deliver expected results. The three essential categories of monitoring. Business requirements. Identify KPIs that track whether the solution is achieving a specific business objective. Patient detection rate. Referral rate for additional tests. Patient satisfaction with diagnosis. Model quality. Track the model's performance in production over time. Identify degradations before they cause problems. Precision and accuracy. Inference speed, data-driven detection. Hosting infrastructure. Monitor the health and performance of the infrastructure hosting and serving your machine learning model. Response latency, request throughput, CPU and GPU utilization. Model quality monitoring. Even if a model performs excellently during training, the real-world data it encounters in production can differ significantly. Patterns in the training data may not match what the model sees in production, causing changes in degradation or performance. Track key metrics, monitor changes in accuracy, speed, and other important measures over time. Any degradation can lead to incorrect diagnosis. Identify new challenges. Detect if the model begins to struggle with new types of cases that were not previously problematic. Catch these issues early. Investigate root causes. When issues are detected, investigate the underlying cause and update the model before it starts making significant errors. AWS tools for effective monitoring. We have SageMaker and CloudWatch. Within SageMaker, we have the model monitor that tracks data quality, model performance, and bias over time. Clarify identifies potential bias in training data and model predictions. Model dashboard provides a unified view of all model performance metrics. Amazon CloudWatch monitors infrastructure response times, throughput, and resource utilization. Configures automatic alerts to notify about detected issues. Integrates with SageMaker for automated actions. And the iterative process. When SageMaker model monitor detects a drop in accuracy, it can automatically create an alert. You investigate, identify new patterns in the data, and retrain the model with updated data. This continuous cycle ensures your machine learning solution remains aligned with business needs. Machine learning model drift monitoring. Model drift occurs when there are changes or shifts in the behavior and performance of machine learning models in production. Various factors can cause drift, including changes in the underlying data distribution, evolving business requirements, or external influencers. If left undetected, drift can lead to the progressive degradation of the model effectiveness over time. Factor causing drift: changes in input data distribution, evolution of user behavior patterns, alterations in business requirements and objectives, external influences, and seasonality. Practical example. Consider a hospital using machine learning for early disease diagnosis. If the distribution of patient symptoms change due to new treatment protocols or demographic shifts, the model trained on historical data may start missing disease patterns, leading to incorrect diagnosis. Model drift categories. Data quality drift: changes in the statistical properties of distribution of input data, causing divergence between production and training. Model quality drift: degradation in model performance metrics such as accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score over time. Statistical bias drift: progressive increase in biases affecting model predictions, leading to unfair or discriminatory decisions. Feature attribution drift: changes in how the model prioritizes different input features when making predictions. Data quality drift and model quality drift. Data quality drift refers to changes in the statistical properties or distribution of input data. When production data begins to diverge from training data, model performance can degrade and lose prediction accuracy. Main causes: introduction of new data types, changes in customer behavior, seasonal variations in data. Model quality drift represents the degradation in the model key performance metrics, even if the underlying data remains stable. The predictive power of the model can decrease over time. Contribution types: concept drift, properties of the dependent variable change. Data drift: distribution of input features change. Overfitting: model fails to generalize to new data. Changes in business requirements. Statistical bias drift refers to a progressive increase in biases affecting model predictions. Bias drift arises from issues in training data or in the real-world data with which the model interacts during production. Common causes: training data limited in size or scope, existing societal biases included in the data, missing important information, new biases introduced in production data. Important: bias is different from variance. Variance represents normal and predictable changes in complex data. Bias causes model predictions to deviate significantly in general direction. Feature attribution drift refers to changes over time in how much the model relies on or prioritizes different input features when making predictions. The model may start to focus more heavily on certain features while paying less attention to others. Why monitor? Changes in feature importance can indicate that the model's decision-making logic is no longer aligned with original business objectives. If the model starts to rely too much on the wrong feature, it can lead to suboptimal or even harmful predictions. Amazon SageMaker Model Monitor provides tools to continuously detect and monitor these 4 types of drift in deployed models, allowing for early detection of emerging issues. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about monitoring Amazon SageMaker with Amazon CloudWatch. So, Amazon CloudWatch offers a comprehensive set of tools for monitoring and observability of your AWS resources, including SageMaker. It collects raw data and processes it into readable metrics in near real time, providing valuable insights into your machine learning solutions. With CloudWatch metrics, we have real-time monitoring of your AWS resources and applications, collecting performance and utilization data. CloudWatch logs: centralized log management with advanced analysis and search capabilities. CloudWatch alarms: automated notification and actions based on defined metrics thresholds. CloudWatch events: near real-time stream of system events for jobs. CloudWatch collects several categories of specific metrics for SageMaker model inference. These metrics help monitor the performance, efficiency, and health of your deployed models. By tracking them, you can identify issues, optimize resource allocation, and ensure your models are performing as expected in production. Endpoint invocation metrics track how you deployed models are being used and their performance. The invocations metric measures the number of requests processed by the model endpoint, allowing you to monitor real-time load and utilization. Inference component metrics provide detailed insights into different parts of your inference pipeline. An important example is the CPU utilization normalized, which measures the CPU utilization of each inference component. Multi-model endpoint metrics, useful when you host multiple models on a single endpoint. The model loading wait time metric tracks the time spent waiting for a model to be loaded into memory, allowing you to manage resource allocation more effectively. Data retention. CloudWatch stores metrics for 15 months, allowing access to historical data and performance tracking over time. However, the console limits searches to metrics updated within the last 2 weeks. CloudWatch logs centralized logs from all AWS systems and services. It automatically collects logs from SageMaker resources, including training jobs, processing jobs, endpoint compilation jobs, transform jobs, notebook instance, and their lifecycle configurations. Capture standard output and error streams. Access normal output data, error message, and diagnostic information. Use advanced search capabilities to quickly locate specific log entries, essential for debugging and optimization. CloudWatch alarms. Configure CloudWatch alarms to monitor SageMaker resources and receive alerts when specific metrics exceed defined thresholds. For example, monitor if an endpoint latency increases or if a training job uses more CPU than expected. Practical example would be to create a trigger for CPU above 80% to send a notification or use at scale SageMaker to scale the resources. Event Bridge provides a near real-time stream of system events for SageMaker resources. It is particularly useful for tracking endpoint state changes during inference. Create rules to automatically respond to events such as endpoint status changes, allowing for quick reaction to changes in deployed models. Invoke Lambda. Analyze logs when endpoint status changes. Send an SNS alert. Notify if an endpoint becomes unhealthy. Redeploy model with tensor trigger workflow. Event Bridge monitors the entire model lifecycle, from deployment to inference, including changes in model status, transform jobs, and much more. Okay, everyone, this lecture we'll be talking about Amazon Text Extract. So, the challenge of manual data extraction. Many companies still rely on manual process to extract data from scanned documents such as PDFs and images. Traditional software requires constant manual configuration, especially when document formats change. This manual extraction process is time-consuming, costly, and prone to human errors, negatively impacting productivity and financial results. Amazon Text Extract uses machine learning to automatically process any type of document, accurately extracting typed text, handwriting, tables, and other data without manual intervention. What used to make hours or days can now be done in minutes, drastically accelerating document processing workflows. Benefits and competitive advantages. Simplify integration. Easily text and detect to your applications. You don't need to know computer vision or deep learning. Just use a simple API to add accurate text analysis to web, mobile, or connected applications. Fast processing. Analyze and extract data from millions of documents quickly, accelerating decision-making process and eliminating operational bottlenecks that slow down your business. Flexible payment model. Pay only for the document you analyze, no upfront fees or minimum charges. Start for free and save more with tiered pricing as your usage grows. Amazon Text Extract key features. Analyze document API. Extracts information from structured documents, identifying text blocks, key value pairs, tables, and selection elements. Includes the queries features, which allows you to define specific questions to extract targeted information without manual searching. Analyze Expense API. Processes and extracts data from financial documents such as invoices and recipes. identifies key information such as vendor names, dates, amount, and tax details, interpreting printed and handwriting text in various formats. Analyze AD API analyzes identity documents such as driver's license and passports, extracts and verifies information such as names, dates of birth, and document numbers, optimizing identification workflows. Practical use cases and application. Scan. Law firms can digitize scanned contracts, facilitating quick searching and retrieval of specific terms across thousands of documents. Natural language processing. Healthcare organizations extract text from patient records, facilitating data analysis and pattern identification through NLP techniques. Business document analysis. Use the query feature to ask specific questions like who is the main contact across various document types regardless of the layout. Financial analysis. Financial institutions automatically extract and standardize data from balance sheets, income statements, and expense reports. Form processing. Insurance companies automate data extraction from claims forms, accelerating approvals and reducing manual data entry. So, how Amazon Text Extract works? We have 5 types of document extraction. Text automatically extracts raw text from documents. Forms identifies and links structured data as key value pairs. Tables extract cell content and table structure. Queries finds specific information based on user questions. Signatures locates and identifies signatures in documents. Text extract employs machine learning algorithms to examine documents, identifying text elements and understanding their relationships. Its ability to handle structured and unstructured data formats makes it versatile for different processing needs. Amazon Text Extract revolutionizes invoice and recipe analysis by automatically extracting key information without the need for templates or manual configuration. Utilizing machine learning, it understands the context of these documents and efficiently extracts crucial data such as dates, numbers, item prices, total amount, and payment terms. Text Extract standardizes different terms from the same concept such as invoice number, bill number, and recipe number into a single category. It also identifies vendor names even when not explicitly labeled, such as when incorporated into a logo. Dates and numbers. Automatic extraction of temporal and numerical information. Categorization addresses fields organized as vendor, recipient, and shipper. Flexibility. No standard fields as labeled as order for complete capture. Block objects and AWS integration. Amazon Text Extract provides detailed output for each analyzed document, representing the content as a collection of blocks, objects that contain comprehensive information about text detection and document analysis. Capture each page or multi-page document as individual detected text. Represents extract key value pairs and detected table structures. Confidence scores assigns accuracy percentage for each extracted data, allowing human verification when necessary. Location coordinates include bounding boxes to identify the exact position of each element in the document. Text Extract integrates seamlessly with other AWS services such as Amazon S3, SageMaker, and Comprehend. Automating text and data extraction saves times, reduces errors, and improves overall efficiency in document processing, being especially valuable for organizations looking to increase their document handling efficiency. Okay, everyone, this lecture will be talking about the best practice for using Amazon Text Extract. Supported language. Ensure your document is in English, Spanish, German, Italian, French, or Portuguese. Image quality. Provide high-quality images with a minimum resolution of 150 dpi for better accuracy. Use PDF, JPEG, or PNG without conversion or downsampling before uploading. To extract text from tables with the best results, ensure that tables are visually separated from surrounding elements on the page. Avoid overlapping tables on complex images or patterns. Make sure that the text within the table is vertical and not rotated relative to the rest of the text on the page. Optimize document images before sending them to Text Extract to improve speed and accuracy. Implement proper error handling to manage timeout and other potential issues during real-time processing. Complex document close to the 10 megabytes limit. Split large documents into smaller parts. Implement a fallback mechanism for asynchronous processing. Implement a robust pooling mechanism to check job status at regular intervals, using exponential backoff for retries to avoid rate limiting. Use Amazon SNS for job completion notifications. Create event-driven architecture. Store results Amazon S3 for further processing. Confidence scores range from 0 to 100 and indicates the probability that a prediction is correct. For applications sensitive to detection errors, establish a minimum confidence score threshold. If the score falls below this threshold, discard the results or flag them for additional human review. Use minimum of 5 samples per query level with variations in layout and image quality. Formulate precise questions such as who is the beneficiary instead of what is the name. Maintain consistent annotation style across all documents and formats. Okay everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about security concepts for Amazon Text Extract. So, use AWS IAM Identity Center to set up individual accounts with appropriate permissions for each user. Enable MFA for users requiring 2 or more verification factors to significantly reduce unauthorized access. Use SSL or TLS for secure communications with AWS resources, protecting data in transit for interception. Enable AWS CloudTrail to log actions, including who initiated them, when they occurred, and which resources were affected. CloudTrail records the history of actions in your AWS account. For example, you can log all TextRect API calls like detect document text or analyze document, allowing you to track who accessed which document and when. This level of detail aids in security analysis and compliance auditing, providing valuable audit trails to maintain visibility and accountability. For highly sensitive data, use Amazon Macy, which employs machine learning to discover and protect sensitive information in AWS. For example, when processing financial documents or medical records, Macy can automatically scan extracted text stored in Amazon S3 for credit card numbers or patient health information. Avoid entering confidential information like email addresses into free text fields, as this data may appear in diagnostic logs accessible to administrators. TextRect uses server-side encryption with keys managed by Amazon S3 or AWS KMS. Each object is encrypted with a unique key using AES 256 bits. The service uses transport layer security to encrypt data transmitted between the service and the agent, in addition to VPC endpoints for secure communication between internal microservices. When generating custom adapters, all content used is processed internally, encrypted at rest and in transit, and deleted upon completion of the training. Okay everyone, this lecture will be talking about the foundation for Amazon Comprehend. Amazon Comprehend is an AWS machine learning service that identifies and extracts valuable insights from text using natural language processing, NLP. NLP is a subfield of linguistic and artificial intelligence focused on the interactions between computers and the human language, allowing machines to understand the context of documents. This service uses a continuously pre-trained model to analyze documents at scale, much faster than the human could. The goal is to produce meaningful insights that enable business to make strategic decisions and improve the customer experience. Key analysis capabilities. Key phrases. Identifies combinations of words containing nouns and their attributes. Each phrase receives a confidence score to determine its relevance. Sentiment. Determines the emotional context of the text, positive, negative, neutral, or mixed. Generates percentage for each emotion, ideal for analyzing product feedback. Entities. Recognizes references to people, places, events, dates, and commercial items. Supports multiple entity types with a confidence score. PII. Identifies personally identifiable information such as names, addresses, and account numbers, and automatically classify or remove sensitive data. Advanced comprehension features. Comprehend recognizes a wide variety of languages and determines the dominant language in the analyzed text using percentage confidence scoring. Syntax analyzes each word to determine its syntactic function, noun, adjective, verb, pronoun, etc. This allows for detailed understanding of the relationship between words with 17 different syntactic types supported. Topics modeling. Identify common themes in large volumes of text. For example, when analyzing science fiction stories, it can detect topics such as time travel, teleportation, and aliens. Using scientific learning models, comprehend the text words consistently using in the same context to determine topics and organize documents in categories. Amazon Comprehend Overview. It's a fully managed NLP service by AWS with continuous machine learning based training. Detects significant insights from any UTF-8 text or substructured documents like Word and PDF. Improves customer experience by detecting sentiment, identifies security risks with PII, and organize large volumes of documents by topics. Amazon Comprehend transforms how companies process and understand large volumes of text, offering actionable insights that drive strategic decisions and improve business outcomes. Okay, everyone, this lecture will be talking about the 3 Amazon Comprehend processing models. So, single document processing. It's executed as an asynchronous process, allowing Comprehend to send the results of any analysis directly back to your applications. The available operations are detect dominant language, detect entities, detect key phrases, detect PII entities, contains PII entities, detect sentiment, detect syntax. This model is ideal for scenarios where you need to work with only one document at a time, offering quick and direct results. Synchronous multi-document processing. You can analyze up to 25 documents simultaneously, each with its own individual result. Batch operations can result in better overall performance compared to individual processing. API calls are the same for single and multiple documents. Batch operations include batch detect dominant language, batch detect entities, batch detect key phrases, batch detect sentiment, and batch detect syntax. The asynchronous batch processing. It's ideal for analyzing large documents or large quantities of documents. Includes extra operations specifically for topic modeling. Your source data must be stored in Amazon S3 in the same region as the job. Source text documents must be in UTF-8 format. Comprehend needs permission via roles to access your S3 bucket. And the run operations include start dominant language detection job, start entities detection job, start events detection job, and much more. Okay, everyone, this lecture will be talking about Amazon Comprehend features. So, Amazon Comprehend is a powerful text analysis tool that uses machine learning and natural language processing to extract valuable insights from documents. This service offers customizable features, simple API integration, and the ability to process millions of documents with high accuracy. Comprehend Custom allows you to create machine learning models specific to your organization, trained with your own data. This makes it possible to recognize terms and entities unique to your business, such as customer numbers or internal codes. You can detect specific information in documents with automatic categorization and confidence classification, tailored to your business needs. Custom entities detect specific terms from your organization. Own models train with your exclusive data. High confidence, accurate classification with confidence rating. Integration and enterprise security. API integration. Flexible APIs allows you to incorporate sophisticated text analysis into existing applications without the need for specialists. Simple implementation with advanced machine learning and NLP features. AWS compatibility. Native integration with Lambda, S3, Kinesis Data Warehouse, and IAM. Process and analyze text results at scale with serverless architecture. Robust security. Encryption with AWS KMS using your own CMKey keys. Access control with IAM ensures protection of PII data and regulatory compliance. Massive scalability. Analyze millions of documents simultaneously. Respond to customer sentiment in real time, turning negative feedback into positive opportunities. Amazon Comprehend Medical uses natural language processing to extract and identify medical attributes from unstructured text, including medications, medical conditions, treatments, procedures, anatomy, and protected health information. The service automatically identifies relationships between extracted medical data, resulting in faster diagnosis and more agile treatment decisions, accelerating recovery and rehabilitation. Examine unstructured medical notes using detect entities and detect PHI APIs with AWS CLI and or SDK.
automatically identify medications, conditions, treatments, and protected information. Management Console displays connection between medical entities with color coding. Identify potential health risks by examining clinical histories for better patient well-being. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we will be starting to talk about Amazon Polly. So Amazon Polly is a cloud-based service that converts written text into life-like speech, allowing developers to create applications that can speak naturally. This service supports various languages and offers a wide selection of natural-sounding voices. The technology is perfect for developing speech-enabled applications that can operate in multiple locations and provides the ideal voice for your users, adapting perfectly to the specific needs of each project. We have machine learning technology that offers natural and human-like speech, various languages and voices to reach global audiences, and a specialized narration style for journalistic content. Amazon Polly is widely used in various applications that transform the user experience through the conversion of text into natural and engaging speech. New readers Newsreaders and games that allow users to listen to content on the go, providing convenience and accessibility. Educational content enriched with high-quality narrations that make learning more engaging and accessible. Essential solutions for visually impaired individuals, converting text into comprehensible and natural audio. A popular news reading application can use Amazon Polly to convert written articles into spoken words, allowing users to listen to the news while commuting. Imagine you are developing an e-learning platform with cloud engineering courses. See how Amazon Polly can transform your textual content into an immersive and interactive audio experience. Organize lesson scripts, lecture outlines, and educational materials in text format. Use Python to convert text to speech and save as high-quality audio files. Upload the generated files to Amazon S3 using automated scripts. Maintain organized metadata for efficient retrieval of files. Configure CloudFront pointing to your S3 bucket for low latency content delivery. Add audio players to your HTML pages using CloudFront URLs. The final result. This detailed workflow ensures that your e-learning content is transformed into an interactive and immersive learning experience with high-quality audio delivered efficiently to your users anywhere in the world. Okay, everyone, this lecture will be talking about voices and languages in Amazon Polly. So Amazon Polly offers a wide variety of realistic voices and supports multiple languages, allowing you to develop applications for global audiences. With support for Arabic, Chinese, Danish, Dutch, English, and many other languages, each voice is carefully adapted to provide the best possible speech synthesis, ensuring accurate pronunciation and natural intonation. So most languages offers at least one male and one female voice, with some languages providing even more options. You can test each voice using your own tasks directly in the AWS Management Console. Each voice in Amazon Polly speaks at a slightly different speed due to natural variations. For example, among the American English voices, Eve and Joanne are a bit faster than Matthew and significantly faster than Joey. Virtual assistants, natural and conversational interactions, e-learning platforms, accessible educational content, accessibility tools, digital inclusion for all. Precise control with SSML. Amazon Polly allows you to modify the voice speed using speech synthesis markup language tags. This is especially useful for specific applications such as children's stories where you might want to slow down the voice for better comprehension. Predefined speeds: extra slow, slow, medium, fast, and extra fast. Each option is approximate and depends on the chosen voice, with the medium option representing normal speed. Percentage control: set any percentage of the speaking rate between 20 and 200%. This allows you to choose the exact desired speed, with 100% considered normal speed. Use speech marks to determine how long a voice takes to pronounce your selected text and adjust as needed. Amazon Polly's
Brand voice feature allows you to create customized voices that represent your brand's persona. Working with Amazon Poly's AI research scientists and linguistics, you can develop unique, high-quality voices that embody your brand's identity. Success story: KFC Canada. Amazon Poly collaborated with KFC Canada to create a Southern American English voice for Colonel Sanders, used in their Alexa skill. This voice allows KFC fans to interact with Colonel Sanders, making ordering fun and memorable. Neural TTS technology. Using neural text to speech technology and generative AI, Amazon Poly can match the desired persona, speech styles, and intonation patterns. Specialized speech styles. Neural voices can be trained for specific speech styles, including the newscaster style that mimics how TV or radio announcers speak, available in several voices. Natural engagement. Voices that adapt to different situations, from casual conversations to professional broadcasts, providing a natural and engaging experience. Okay, everyone, on this lesson we'll be talking about Amazon Poly security best practices. Ensuring the security of your data and applications when using Amazon Poly involves following several essential best practices. These practices help protect your AWS resources, secure sensitive information, and ensure compliance with regulatory requirements. Amazon Poly follows the AWS shared responsibility model for data protection. AWS is responsible for protecting the global infrastructure that runs all AWS services, including Amazon Poly. As an AWS customer, you are responsible for protecting any personal data you place in the AWS cloud when using Amazon Poly. Activity logging. Configure API logging and user activities with AWS CloudTrail to monitor and track actions related to Amazon Poly. Use AWS encryption solutions to protect Amazon Poly voice synthesis, output, and store encrypted files in Amazon S3. Avoid placing sensitive information such as customer account numbers in free-form fields when using Amazon Poly. Identity management. Configure individual users with AWS Identity and Access Management (IAM), ensuring each user has only the permissions needed for necessary of the role. Utilize multi-factor authentication (MFA) for each account, adding an extra layer of security when accessing Amazon Poly. Encryption in transit. Communicate with AWS resources using SSL TLS to encrypt data in transit, including text submissions to send. SSL protects all text submissions during transit, and Amazon Poly does not retain the content of these submissions. AWS CloudTrail for auditing. CloudTrail logs all API calls to Amazon Poly as events, providing a valuable audit trail. You can configure continuous delivery of this event to an Amazon S3 bucket, including details such as the IP address, user or service making the request, timestamp, and other relevant information. Amazon CloudWatch for metrics. CloudWatch collects and processes data into readable metrics in near real time, sent every minute. Configure alarms to monitor specific metrics and receive notifications via Amazon SNS when defined thresholds are exceeded, ensuring reliable and high-performing applications. VPC endpoints for private connection. Configure a private connection between your VPC and Amazon Poly using interface VPC endpoints. This allows you to synthesize speech without using the public internet, providing a secure connection without the need for an internet gateway, NAT instance, or VPN connection. Very important. The speech synthesis operation in Amazon Poly is stateless and not tied to any client identity, meaning you cannot retrieve data from Amazon Poly later. Ensure you properly restore the synthesized output in secure services like Amazon S3 with encryption. Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about Amazon Transcribe. So, Amazon Transcribe is a fully managed AWS service that transforms audio and video into accurate text transcripts using advanced machine learning. From batch processing to real-time streaming, Amazon Transcribe handles speech recognition at scale without the infrastructure overhead. So, why convert speech to text? While spoken content is valuable, text unlocks exponentially more possibilities. Amazon Transcribe uses advanced machine learning models to deliver superior accuracy compared to legacy transcription approaches at lower cost and better efficiency. Key applications include adding subtitles and captions for accessibility, enabling real-time multilingual translations, creating searchable archives from audio and video libraries, powering a voice-driven analytics and insights. Powerful features built for production, multilingual support, handles dozens of languages and dialects with automatic speaker identification and multi-channel audio separation, adapts to variation in volume, pitch, and speaking rate. Precision timestamps. Every word includes a timestamp and confidence score, making it easy to locate specific content in your source audio and validate transcription accuracy. Smart content controls automatically redacts personally identifiable information, detects toxic content including profanity and hate speech, and applies intelligent punctuation for readability. Custom models create custom vocabularies for jargon and acronyms. Build custom language models, CLMs, trained on 100K to 10 million words for domain-specific accuracy in medical, legal, or specialized fields. Flexible processing options. Batch processing. We have access via AWS Console SDKs and CLI, supported formats MP3, WAV, FLAC, AMR, OGG, plus audio from MP4, WebM, video. Recommended lossless formats like FLAC, WAV, and with PCM 16-bit. Limits up to 2 gigs or 4 hours per API call. Real-time streaming. Access via SDKs, WebSocket, HTTP 2 bidirectional streams. Recommended FLAC or PCM encoding. Use cases: live captions, conversational AI, pre-recorded streaming. Limits: connections up to 4 hours. Create vocabulary filters to mask or remove specific words in real time. Perfect for censoring live closed captions or filtering sensitive terms during streaming transcription. Scalable, predictable pricing. Remember, this is on the time of the recording, so you needed to pay attention to the web page from Amazon Transcribe to see the actual and current costs. So, Amazon Transcribe uses a straightforward pay-as-you-go model with no upfront costs or infrastructure to manage. You are charged per minute or audio transcribed, billed in 1 second of increments. Bom, pessoal, nessa aula aqui a gente vai estar falando sobre os casos de uso no mundo real para o Amazon Transcribe. Então, agora que você entendeu para que serve o Transcribe, é hora da gente explorar como esse poderoso serviço de fala para texto se integra em soluções do mundo real. Vamos ver algumas arquiteturas que combinam com esse serviço e os fluxos de trabalho. Bom, primeiro é transcrição simples e arquivos pesquisáveis. Então, o caso de uso mais direto envolve a transcrição de um único arquivo de áudio armazenado em um bucket S3. Basta criar um trabalho de transcrição apontando o transcribe para o seu arquivo de origem, especificar um bucket de destino para a saída e o transcribe gera uma transcrição de texto que é armazenada de volta no S3. Para arquivos maiores, como bibliotecas de podcasts ou coleções de vídeos, você pode transformar horas de áudio em conteúdo pesquisável. Conecte o Amazon Kendra ao seu bucket de saída do Transcribe para criar um poderoso índice de pesquisa. Isso torna cada palavra falada descoberta, transformando arquivos de áudio passivos em bases de conhecimento dinâmicos e pesquisáveis. Arquiteturas multisserviços para funcionalidades aprimoradas. Combinar o Transcribe, o Translate e Poly para permitir conversas ao vivo entre falantes de diferentes idiomas. O áudio flui através do Transcribe para conversão de fala em texto, o Translate converte para o idioma de destino e o Poly gera a saída de fala com som natural, criando comunicação transidioma fluida. Análise inteligente para centrais de atendimento. Processar chamada de suporte ao cliente enviando o áudio para o Transcribe e então encaminhar a transcrição para o Amazon Comprehend para processamento de linguagem natural. Extrair frases-chave, realizar análise de sentimentos, identificar pontos problemáticos do cliente, que são insights valiosos para o treinamento de agentes e melhoria de serviço. E os recursos do Transcribe específicos por indústria.
Então, quando a gente fala o Transcribe Call Analytics, é uma API baseada em inteligência artificial projetada para centrais de contato que gera automaticamente resumos de chamadas, identifica problemas de experiência do cliente e realiza análise de sentimento, otimizando a garantia de qualidade e a avaliação do desempenho do agente. O Transcribe Medical, transcrições focadas na área de saúde que capturam com precisão a terminologia médica, incluindo nomes de medicamentos, procedimentos, doenças e termos específicos de especialidades como cardiologia, neurologia e radiologia. Também pode identificar e sinalizar informações de saúde protegidas, PHI, nas saídas. E o Health Scribe gera notas clínicas a partir de conversas entre pacientes e médicos usando IA para extrair motivos da consulta, avaliações clínicas e planos de tratamento. Garante a privacidade ao não reter áudio de entrada ou texto de saída, mantendo a conformidade com o HIPAA em todo o fluxo de trabalho.
Okay, everyone, on this lecture we'll be talking about the understanding of Amazon Lex. So, what is Amazon Lex? Amazon Lex is a powerful AWS service designed to create sophisticated conversational interfaces using both voice and text. It enables applications to understand and respond to user input in natural, everyday language, eliminating the need for complicated commands or navigation through complex menus. With deep functionality and flexibility, Amazon Lex empowers developers to build highly engaging user experience with lifelike conversational interactions. This opens possibilities for creating entirely new categories of products that feel intuitive and human-like in their communication. These interfaces allow people to interact with computers by taking or typing naturally, just as they would chat with another person. Users can ask questions or give instructions using everyday language, and the system responds in kind. The technology behind Amazon Lex. Automatic speech recognition converts spoken language into written text, enabling the system to process voice inputs from users accurately. Natural language understanding interprets the meaning and intent behind text, whether typed directly or converted from speech to understand what users actually want. These two technologies work together to form a complete speech language understanding system that powers intelligent conversations. Speech recognition and natural language understanding rank among the most challenging problems in computer science. These technologies require advanced deep learning algorithms training on massive amounts of data. Expertise and resources typically available only to specialized AI teams. Amazon Lex changes this equation entirely. It democratizes this complex technology, making sophisticated conversational AI accessible to all developers, not just AI specialists. You can build production-ready chatbots and virtual assistants without needing a PhD in machine learning or access to enormous datasets. Lex can fulfill user intent by invoking appropriate business functions, creating complete conversational AI solutions that integrate seamlessly with your existing systems and workflows. So why choose Amazon Lex? Simplified bot creation. The intuitive console guides you through each step, enabling you to build fully functional bots quickly. Provide just a few sample phrases and Lex generates a comprehensive natural language model for complex conversations. Streamline the development cycle. Manage the entire process, creating, testing, and deployment directly through the console. Once ready, integrate your bots seamlessly into mobile apps, websites, Facebook, Slack, and other platforms. Automatic scaling. Lex adjusts to user demand automatically, eliminating manual infrastructure management. Your bot handles fluctuating interaction levels without performance issues or capacity planning headaches. Native AWS integration works naturally with AWS Lambda for logic processing, CloudWatch for monitoring, and other services for security, authentication, storage, and mobile development, leveraging your existing AWS ecosystem. The Amazon Lex development process. Create and configure. Build your bot and configure it to understand user goals, engage in conversation, and fulfill intents. Add multiple languages as needed. Test thoroughly. Use the test window client in the Amazon Lex console to validate your bot responses and conversational flow. Publish version. Once testing is successful, publish a version of your bot and create an alias for deployment management. Deploy everywhere. Deploy your bot on your application or messaging platforms like Facebook, Messengers, and Slack. So, what is a bot? A bot performs automated tasks such as scheduling appointments, answering customer service inquiries, and assisting with online shopping. Amazon Lex bots use advanced technology to understand both spoken and written language, interpreting what users say or type and responding naturally. Multilingual capabilities. Amazon Lex bot can communicate in multiple languages. Each language setting works independently with native words and phrases, allowing your bot to converse naturally with users in their preferred languages. This makes global deployment seamless and authentic. An intent represents an action the user wants to perform. It's the core of your bot's understanding. When creating a bot, you define one or more related intents that guide meaningful, purposeful conversations across all supported languages. Give the intent a clear, descriptive name like book flight that reflects the actions users want to take. Provide examples of how users might express this intent. I need to book a flight, or how can I purchase flight tickets. Define how the bot completes the action using the AWS Lambda function that processes requests and interact with backend systems. Pre-built intents available. Amazon Lex offers ready-made intents like Amazon Call Cancel intent, Amazon Help intent, and Amazon Stop intent to accelerate development. Every bot also includes a fallback intent for handling unclear user. What are slots? While intents define a bot's actions, slots are essential components that collect specific details needed to execute those actions. During conversation, Amazon Lex prompts user for those slot values, ensuring all required information is gathered before fulfilling the intent. Intelligent extraction. Users can respond naturally with more than just the slot value. Lex intelligently extracts relevant information from statements like, I want to fly to London Friday, or let's make the departure from Manchester. For each slot, specify the type and create prompts for Lex to use when requesting information. Use custom types like city with values London, Manchester, Liverpool, or built-in types like Amazon date and Amazon city. Versions. A numbered snapshot of your bot at a specific point in time. Once created, it remains unchanged even as you continue development. Perfect for preserving specific states across development, testing, and production. Aliases. Appointed to a specific version of your bot, instead of hard coding version numbers in applications, use aliases like production or development. When you update, simply point the alias to a new version. All applications automatically use the updated bot. Okay, everyone. On this lecture, we will be talking about the steps to build your bots in Amazon Lex. So, Amazon Lex Console provides an intuitive step-by-step interface perfect for those new to chatbot development. Simply navigate to the console, select Create Bot, and choose Create a Blank Bot to begin your guided journey. During setup, you will configure essential elements, bot name and description, IAM permissions for AWS service access, compliance settings like COPPA requirements, and the idle session timeout that determines how long conversations remain active. The advanced settings allows you to add resource tags for better organization and access control. The visual approach removes technical barriers, letting you focus on designing conversation flows rather than infrastructure. Pre-built industry solutions. Access ready-made templates for financial services, retail orders, telecommunications, airline service, and car insurance. Each template includes pre-configured intents, sample conversations, and industry-specific workflows. Automated infrastructure setup. Templates automatically provision necessary AWS resources including Lambda functions for business logic, DynamoDB tables for data storage, and CloudFormation stacks for deployment, eliminating manual configuration. Amazon Connect integration. Test your bot in realistic IVR environment by connecting to Amazon Connect. Simulate real customer phone interactions using voice over keypad input, ensuring your bot performs flawlessly before production deployment. The airline service template exemplifies this power. It handles flight bookings, status checks, reservation management, and customer service tasks right out of the box. Simply customize with your data and business rules to rapidly move from concept to production ready bot. Automated chatbot designer. Transform existing conversation transcripts into functional bots. Upload contact lens transcripts, and the system analyzes patterns to suggest intent and slot types. You maintain full control, reviewing suggestions and customizing as needed. Perfect for business with existing customer interaction data. AWS SDK. Take programmatic control with the AWS Software Development Kit, Bright Code to create, configure, and manage bots directly. Ideal for developers who want automation, version control, integration, and the ability to build bots as part of larger application workflows. Import existing definitions. Already have a bot definition, simply import it to Amazon Lex to migrate existing work or replicate successful bot configurations. This method streamlines deployment across environments and enables rapid iteration on proven designs. Descriptive bot builder with AI. Leverage generative AI to build bots using natural language descriptions. Simply describe what you want your bot to do, and AI generates the corresponding structure. The newest and fastest way to prototype conversational experiences. So let's talk about an overview of Amazon recognition. So we need to start with the understanding of what is deep learning. So deep learning is a branch of machine learning that utilizes artificial neural networks inspired by the functioning of the human brain to learn from large volumes of data. This process enables computers to identify complex patterns and make decisions with minimal human intervention. It is exactly this technology that makes Amazon recognition of analyzing images and videos with a high degree of accuracy and scalability, without requiring the developer to train models from scratch. Recognition is part of the Amazon AI services family, designed to democratize access to advanced computer vision. Recognition image analysis. Recognition image analysis services allows you to search, verify, and organize millions of images by detecting objects, scenes, activities, landmarks, faces, colors, and visual quality. Photo organization, automatic tagging and categorization in extensive digital libraries using AI-generated tags. Content safety detects and filters explicit, inappropriate, or violent content in images on digital platforms. Identity verification compares facial characteristics in submitted images with reference photos for secure authentication. Text recognition extracts text in different fonts, styles, and orientations, including signs and banners. Use cases recognition image. Celebrity recognition identifies personalities in images, politicians, athletes, actors, and musicians without needing to provide names in advance, ideal for media and entertainment platforms. Face authentication confirms user identity by comparing submitted images with registered reference photos, making applications more secure and reliable. Content moderation automatically detects images with inappropriate or violent content, protecting users and ensuring compliance on large-scale digital platforms. Recognition video. What does the service analyze? Stories, videos, and live streams, activities and person tracking, objects, scenes, landmarks, and celebrities, faces, either off screen or in motion, text in video for metadata extraction. Recognition video goes beyond static image. It indexes rich metadata over time, object, activities, scenes, landmarks, celebrities, and faces, making video search simple and scalable. The ability to track people even when their faces are not visible is especially powerful for real-time monitoring and security. Use cases: facial search in video, scans stored or live videos to find faces that match a previously registered face collection, useful in security and investigations. Text extraction detects and extracts text
present in videos for visual search or metadata enrichment. Applicable in broadcasts, commercials, and corporate recordings. Protective equipment. Monitor safety compliance in industrial environment by detecting that incorrect use of PPE and signaling unsafe conditions automatically. Custom labels. Trains the model to identify specific object concepts and scenes for the business, outperforming generic classifiers in proprietary or niche use cases. Recognition by numbers. 30 plus object categories, 100 more facial attributes, 0 machine learning expertise needed, and 2 supported modalities, images and videos. Amazon recognitions eliminate the complexity of computer vision, delivering accurate results via simple API calls, scalable, managed, and production ready.